Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. So again, sorry for my setup, but it's the weekend and I just wanted to get this update out to you guys anyway, since the market is in an uptrend and moving quickly. So need to give you guys an update in a timely manner. So you remember on Friday, Bitcoin created this massive breakout out of this downward wedge. And it was a really important moment. And I mentioned that the next level for us is the 47,850 mark, this yellow line I had drawn here. Now, exactly off this level is where we bounced off on the initial breakout. And we've been struggling up and down against this resistance level for the last 2 days, this whole weekend. So what happens next? Well, we've got to have a bit of a toggle around this level. And if we can break this level with some volume, the next level we could be heading up to is $50,000 quite quickly. And we know the $50,000 mark is going to take a few attempts to beat because it's a strong psychological resistance level. And that's how traders set up their sell walls and buy walls. So on the downside, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little bit of a calling off to this level, this support line at 46,317, or even worse, even a call down to the wedge and around this level where the yellow line is drawn at 43. So those are the key areas I'm looking out for. Either way, if we head straight back up, I'm ready. My position's nice and full. If it comes down here, tests it a bit and then goes back up, that's fine. And worst case scenario is kind of coming for a bit of a retest of this wedge to head back up. Either way, a really important moment because we were on the verge of, I hate to say it, but a really bearish moment here. So when we came down, we tested 41,615. We tested 41 again and again, 3 and again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches. And Bitcoin said, no, we are not falling below 41. And if we did fall below, then the next level would have been 38 and a potential downward break to the wedge, which would have, seen lower levels back down to where we were earlier in the year, the 32 level mark, which was getting tested earlier. So let me switch to the daily view. And what you'll see with Bitcoin is we've created a new floor, right? This is the new floor for Bitcoin. The bulls came in this time around and said, $41,000 is our new price for Bitcoin. We're not letting it go any lower. And that's a really powerful moment for us. We've had a really strong breakout to the upside. And now we're sitting comfortable at 47,969, although we want to get some volume to head back up to 50. We've got to test 50 as quickly as possible to keep this momentum going up. And we know the last quarter of a 4-year cycle is always very powerful. So, it's a great time to be in crypto right now. Moving on to Cardano, you see a similar kind of story. I mean, on the daily, let's switch on the 4-hourly chart to see this a bit more clearly. You will see we've kind of broken out above this 22.26 mark, which I had drawn here. We're sitting at 22.70, 2.27. And we want to kind of see this head higher now. So it's kind of bouncing back around this level. And we need to head higher and test the $2.44 mark on Cardano. Cardano kind of, had its bit of buy the rumor, sell the news in the lead up to the summit. But it's just kind of not been performing enough here for my liking. I mean, I've got a big bag of Cardano. We know we touched the $3 mark, and we've really got to start heading back up towards there. Now that Bitcoin's moving, I'd want to see a bigger move in Cardano. Surprised it didn't move too much, and we spoke about that on Friday as well. Another coin which, was actually down when the rest of the market was up was COTI. And with COTI, we can see that we've actually come down slightly from this wedge as well. So in the last video on Friday, we said we were creating higher lows, which was great, until this point here where we broke down a little bit. And we've created a lower low here, unfortunately, on COTI. And that kind of nullifies this wedge for now. Now, obviously, from the wider, if we go to the daily view, you will see we had this massive cup and handle pattern, which we spoke about. We broke to the upside in the cup and handle. We reached our target of 57. And I mentioned the higher target. So that was the wedge target. But the target from the cup and handle pattern actually takes you up to a far higher level, sitting at 81 cents. Okay, so that target still remains. I mean, we're still heading in an upward trend. We've had a slight cooling off here from the upward trend, but it could easily, kick back into gear and head higher on COTI. So if you were in COTI, you would have done really well from this cup and handle pattern with the breakout. Even from here, from between the two green lines, you would have had a good level of profitability there, 33% just from that breakout from this wedge, which is fantastic. But I'm seeing this from a more fundamental point of view, and I've spoken about this on this channel. COTI is a massive platform, and I think the market is not seeming to understand how big an opportunity COTI has. Cardano at this summit announced that COTI are going to be the issuers of JED. They're the chosen issuers of the stablecoin that will be used for the gas fees on the Cardano network. This is massive. And I don't think the crypto community is fully understanding this, and this is not priced in just yet. I mean, you put it into perspective. If a coin, COTI is not even listed on Coinbase, but if COTI was to be listed on Coinbase, you'd be getting more of a pump than we've just seen recently. So I'm really expecting a lot more upside from COTI, and I think we may need to be patient on this one because for whatever reason, Cardano and COTI isn't moving as quickly as I would have thought right now. Looking at Algorand, if you remember on Algorand on this daily chart, let me switch to the 4-hourly chart to be easier to see. We were looking at this wedge pattern. And it was a bearish pattern because we entered the wedge in a downtrend and we hovered up and down and we were balancing precariously on the bottom of this wedge. And at that point, I was reminding us that, if we do break to the downside, you've got a $1.46 ALGO price target just to prepare you guys for the risk on the downside. Now, fortunately, when Bitcoin took a move up, this rallied to the upside and we got an upside breakout. And this was a really powerful breakout. And your first target is the top of the wedge, which is at $2.05. And then your next target, actually, the technical target sits at $2.24. So a lot of potential upside here for Algorand. And you can see here from the 4-hourly candles, it's had some great strength going in here. Broke out, cooled off a bit, touched the EMA up, come down, touch the EMA again, up again. We've had a really strong 4-hourly candle just print here with a high of $1.95. We're sitting at $1.91 now. And can ALGO, with this green space here, really head up to $2.05? Because you can see there's no major resistance here. We could easily get to the $2.05 mark and then head for the 2.13 and further mark. So Algorand is setting up really nicely as a platform. I think, again, it's just testament to the demand for layer one solutions in the market right now. Let's flick on to Solana, another one to look at if I get rid of my drawings, which we don't need. But Solana was another one that's been on a little bit of a run recently. So we saw Solana was kind of struggling at this green level here of 125. In fact, let's zoom out a little bit. Just remind you guys of the journey we've been on Solana. So Solana was this coin sitting at around 30 mark, which is when I was buying in the high 20s, low 30s. So the majority of my cost basis was built there. Then we had this massive tear up to a $215 Cardano, right? It cooled down, and now we're getting a really nice daily bounce on Solana. And this is really impressive from a Solana perspective, because a lot of people are so focused on the daily that they often don't zoom out and look at this daily chart and say, hang on a second, look at this. It went on a parabolic tear. And if a coin goes on a parabolic tear, as a long-term investor, I want it to cool down. I want it to cool down and grow in a sustainable manner, because what goes up fast will come down just as quick, okay? So we want it to build scaffolding on the way up. Best way to think about it, build scaffolding on the way up. And this 125 mark is a great bit of scaffolding, because just like we were talking about the 41,000 mark for Bitcoin, Solana's created itself a nice floor here. The Solana bull said, nope, 1, 2, 3 almost, you're not getting cheaper than $125. So in your mind, if you're buying Solana like I was at the 30 mark, you know you've got quite a safe 4x there, even if you've kept your coins in Solana like I have, right? Because the bulls just wouldn't let it break down. And now it's headed to the upside. It's broken its local high of 170. It's sitting at 173, 174.5 mark. And Solana can really now pick up momentum to kind of the next resistance level would sit 189. And then it can go back up to the 215 mark. Okay, so you can have this kind of level here on Solana as your next target almost, if it can maintain this high over this. Okay, so great opportunity. I mean, and again, this is just kind of testament to another thing I want to remind you guys of is how many people were FOMOing in to Solana at this point, right? When it was green, everybody was buying Solana. And yet when it came down to 125, people were scared. They thought it was just suddenly going to collapse, and therefore they weren't buying in these opportunities. And if you want to be a smart investor, when you have conviction in a crypto or a stock or any asset class, you want to be buying on this tip. Imagine you bought here, you bought a little bit here, you bought a little bit here, you bought here, then you've got a solid position at 120, and therefore when it gets to 215, you're sitting comfy. Okay, so that's Solana, doing really well, Solana. Let's look at Luna, another one in the layer one space, which is doing really well. So far we've looked at Algorand, we've looked at Solana, and now Luna. We looked at ADA as well. The level one space is really hot right now, and it's not just all about Ethereum. Even though I'm a big fan of Ethereum, I'll continue to hold and buy Ethereum. We've got to be diversified in these other layer one plays. Okay, that euphoria which we had may have gone, but layer ones are here to stay, and they're going to continue to grow over time, because we've realized that Ethereum on its own, even with ETH 2.0, is not enough. other layer one solutions are going to be out there, and it's going to be a battle and survival of the fittest. There's no reason you can't have 3 or 4 really good layer ones operating at the same time. It's all going to come down to who attracts the best DApp builders, who gives them the best incentives, who therefore gets the most total value locked and has the best use cases on their layer one platform. Really important. And so far, Luna, which we're looking at right now, has introduced their Columbus upgrade, and that has helped them rally up here a little bit more, which is really good. It's created a higher high from its high here at about 43 mark. We've just touched, I think we touched a high of about 44, 46 even. So that was really good for Luna, and it's just kind of cooling off a little bit now, the last few hours or so before trying to head higher. So Luna's making a great pattern here, and definitely one which has a lot of upside. I mean, just look at the daily chart on Luna. A parabolic run, cooling off, another move, cooling off, came back down, almost flipped bearish, straight back up on the EMA ribbon, and now heading back higher. So a really bullish chart here on Luna. And I think Luna's one that's going to stay. And last but not least, let's take a quick look at Ethereum as well. And Ethereum's obviously moved in solidarity with Bitcoin, as many other coins do. And Ethereum's looking strong again, sitting at 34.23. And again, a lot of people were not buying this at 2. They weren't buying it down here. They were too scared. I mean, when you had this low candle of 2650, what a nice dip to be buying. And when you've got conviction in these asset classes, you've got to buy when it's red. And I know it's scary. I know, everything's red and you think it's only going to get like catching a falling dagger. But you've got to have conviction and you've got to start nibbling, right? You don't have to go heavy if your conviction's not there, but start nibbling, have price targets, really control your emotions and write things down. So when the price does hit that mark, you've got a strategy which you've written that if Ethereum hits this price, I'm going to buy. Because when the market's red and there's a whole bunch of FUD going around, it's scary to buy the dip. And I was there when I was less experienced at investing. It is scary and you've got to train yourselves. And by the way, I posted a video on how to trade, how to invest in an uncertain market. Go check that out. It's really helpful for you guys who are new to investing. But Ethereum looking really good here. Didn't give up on the 2,900 mark here, really. We dibbled down, obviously below, but kind of held their strength there, bounced back up, headed above the 3,329 mark, 3,329, and now it needs to build higher to get to the 3,500 mark. Okay, so Ethereum looking strong as well, of course, given that Bitcoin is moving well. So there you go, guys. A quick update on a Sunday for how the market is getting on. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this type of content, then please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. I'll be back in my studio tomorrow and be giving you some more updates. See you in the next one.